Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel Architect's Maze. We're going to be looking at greens today. Somebody asked me to do one on sculpting greens really. Now, I don't think I'm a master at sculpting greens. It's quite a difficult thing to do, especially when you're looking at the 4 pins. I'm going to do it on this course I'm doing at the moment because I've finished the course. I'm just polishing it up, but there's greens that I need to add pins on, so I just do it hole by hole, um, polish it and then go through to the green last and do the 4 pins that I want to do. So I'm on hole 7 at the moment, so I'm trying to get it done by Friday. So we've got, how far is this par 4? Let's go to we're looking at about 440 odd par 4, 434, something like that. What is it now? 450. 450 par 4 is quite it's a tricky little drive because you've really got a wind dependent. You can hit this area here, you're okay, and the wind's against you, you're looking at this area here to try and land. So it's reasonably shaped fairway, so you're not going to get too much. If you go too far left, you can get a nasty kick over towards the bunker, and if you stay too far down this side, you can kick into that bunker. So really, when you're looking at how you want to shape your greens, it all depends on the approach shot that the player's going to have. If it's a particularly easy approach shot, then you can afford to be a bit more tricky with your green. I find you can obviously set up a much harder green. If they're going to have a much harder approach shot, then your green needs to be a little bit more simple, but obviously you've still got to add that challenging element as well. Now this green, I just literally drew it out as I was designing the hole. It had no sort of plan to it, so we're going to delete the spline and we're going to start with a new tactic. So I want to see what's happening with the drive and where we are in relation to sort of what sort of shot we're going to have coming in. So let's go for the drive, see what we got. So we got the tailwind on this one, so this is going to give us the easiest approach shot. That's going to kick us right forward miles. So then we're going to have a little pitch in, aren't we? 102 yards, so 88 yards to the pin, sorry. So let's come back out of that and let's rewind the shot and change the wind. Rewinding did nothing because I've got to go back out and set the wind. So that was a northerly behind, so a southerly is going to be in our face. So let's change it to a high southerly. Play hole 7 again. Let's see what the other extreme will be. So this side, so I want to be a little bit more over towards the right of it. So that's going to get us that approach in, which is looking at about 159. So they're pretty short approaches on this hole, so I can afford to have a green that's a little bit more tricky. So let's look at that. Just if I'm taking a 5-4 free iron into a green, then I've got to make it a little bit fairer and a little bit more approachable. But on a green like this, where it's going to be a shorter wedge, they're going to be a lot more accurate, so I can afford to make it a lot more tricky. So let's just draw a green in and think about it. So I've got sort of these lumps and bumps on the right hand or the left hand side even. Got this little area here which isn't doing much. I've obviously got the 2 traps, so looking at pins, I want to get pins towards here and here really are the 2 sort of danger areas for 1 and 4 maybe. So I can afford to start to draw in a green, bring it around. Just depends how big I want to make it. Now obviously it's quite a short approach shot. Well, I find that if you're trying to do a green, the smaller you make it, obviously the harder it is to sculpt it, because you've got less area to work with, so you're going to find it a little bit more tricky. So when you're starting out, try and make your greens to a reasonable size. Where's my green spline? There. Just want to bring that out a tad to follow the contour of that fairway. That's a bit better. And then I can smooth it out anyway. See what it does. It just brings those edges in. And then I am just going to add a little bit of surface weathering around the edge, because that's what I've been doing, just to darken up, lighten up those fringes. I don't want them quite as dark as that. And we'll get into it. Just got to dull that down a bit because that intensity is a bit bright. Anywhere 40, 50, that'll do. So I've got a natural slope that's running me down to a pin at the back. If I want to put a pin at the front, I've got another natural slope there, but it doesn't really help me with a pin 4. I can put a pin here, say for example pin 1. Oh god, I'll get to the pin itself. So if we put a pin at the front here, at least that's gonna bring this sort of kick forward and away. Anything left is going to bring you back down and give you a sort of putt that's going to be turning the back in that way, so that's fine. It's just I'd like a pin somewhere, say around here really, so there's a collection point there, like a puddle area, which is no good. So we're going to go with the raise tool first. Now you can start by flattening out your green, but always look at the natural contours that you've sculpted from the original sort of sculpt and see if there's anything there you can work with. So that's going to be really a really difficult putt in there now, so again we can just go for a raise and just see if we can bring that front section, this little runoff here I don't mind for anything that's too far right on that approaching to pin 1. It's just this pin 4 hole that I'm looking at the moment. Just want to get something a little bit more reasonable going through here. That's probably a bit too much, so we'll bring that down. Like I said, they can be so tricky, greens. Let me put my pins in and then we can start working the contours. So I want one at the back, I want one at the back right, and then one a bit more forward towards this bunker. And then that's quite flat on this bit of fairway there, so I want to have a little bit of a runoff there or a kick into that bunker. If you are too far right, let's try this shape first. Excuse me, I have a cough going around at the moment in the house. So we got a little bit of kick there. There's obviously a funny little dimple there, which I'm just going to iron out. Just get in there quick. It's more this point after. See if I can do something with that. So that's probably too much, so let's take that last one back out, see if that straightens up that edge a bit. No, that's too much again. I'm going to take that other one back. It's those reds that are really running off sharp there, I don't want them too much. Not really looking for that. I mean, to be fair, that is going to run off quite a bit anyway. Looking back at this way. This is where greens can be really tricky. It's getting everything balanced. Let's just go for a complete flatten and start again. See what that does in terms of this way. So because I've got this little indentation here, I really want something coming off of there. To the right of the green, left. Why do I keep saying right? To the left of the green. I want something that's going to be making a contour into the green, but just off the green, if you know what I mean. So you can set something like that, which is going to give you a natural kick in. Oh, there's a little area through here that I'm just going to raise up just to bring the front of it up a little bit. A few inches. Try that. Then we got this here as well, so in theory we can do the same again, and that will make our pin 4 a bit harder. So we're just using raises at the moment. As soon as you start to use flattens, you're chasing your tail. It all has to be done with the raise really, unless you're trying to flatten one particular little spot. But you're better off working with the flatten, with the raise, to try and get it done. You'll start to just get natural movement straight away. Now we've made that area for the pin 4 a little bit easier now. Well, not easier, but easier for us to work with as a sculpting sort of point of view. We can go up another few more inches there, I think. And if we just tuck a pin just behind this little ridge, so we'll move that pin 4 just back a little bit. And we have got a little area where it can kick forward and push them further away than they want to be. If they come to the ideal sort of landing area is going to be about here, I guess. So we can extend this bit out a little bit more. Do our raise again. We'll just come in, we'll go a bit further across this time. And we'll take it up. So when you're really looking at your inches, really, anything from 4 to 7 really. If you want a moderate turn, 4 inches will cover it. If you want more of a severe turn, 7 inches. If you're looking at just tweaking, an inch or 2 is no more than that. And if you want to sort of do a split level or tiered green, I find that 10 inches is a good marker to do for that. So if I wanted to do like a double tiered area, if I took it up 10 inches about there, that's going to get me enough slope there to make a double tier, you know. So I could leave that in there, but I've got a collection area there where the 2 points are going to be meeting, where I raise this bit. And it's also going to make it a lot easier for if they're longer on the pin 4, that it's just going to come back down towards the hole. So I don't think I really want a split level on this one, unless I bring the pin 4 right down to this front right hand corner. We could try it. Again, they're going to have a slight backstop there really, because this is going to bring them back. Just not sure whether pin 1's going to be working like that. I can make the whole thing run towards the water, and the one I tend to use if I want to change a big area and make a slope is this one. So I'm only really going to affect the top part of that going towards the back of the green. Is going to start at where that tier is. So if I raise that, it's going to shorten that tier, but it's going to make this slope down a lot more. 10 inches is way too high. Like I said, anything between 4 and 7, Because I've already got a bit of movement there, 7 will just make it really hard, so 4 will try. I'll come and have a look at that. So that's quite tough. That's quite tough for 4. At the back here, I can have it sloping. I like it, the fact that it's going to run off the back a little bit there towards the 4, whatever pin that is, 3. Let's bring it a tad left, so we're not impacting that too much. And this one I'm going to bring left this way to get to this more slopier area here. So I've got a nice bit of movement in the green now. If they go long, it's going to kick them away down into here, and you're going to have a chip back up, so that area is quite nice. You're really going to find it difficult to find this bunker, I think, unless you absolutely shank one. That's going to need adjusting. What should we use? Just want to bring that down again so we've got our steps going down. Should cover it. That will do. So that's the reasonable, because we're using the pitching wedge in, or a 9-iron in, we can afford to go quite small on our green size. Like I said, if we're using a much bigger approach, where have we got a bigger approach? That's a par 5, so that's irrelevant. Even the hole 1, that's quite a long approach into hole 1. It's about 173, 180 yards, so I can afford to go a bit bigger with the green, which we've done there. You know, it's basically all we're really looking at is what club are you using to take your approach shot, how big you can then make your green, and how tricky you can make your green. They're the basic principles I use to work out what sort of green I'm going to try and sculpt. If I'm taking a pitching wedge, a par 5 into consideration, like I have done on this one, I can just see a sculpting bit there that I want to adjust. I just raised this up earlier, just before I came on it on the video. It was sort of sloping down really sharp there. This was all dipped, so I thought I'd make the slope come up here more. Because it's quite a long par 5, and I want to be able to give a chance to run up there. So that's made that a little bit easier. So on this par 5, obviously it's going to be a lot longer approaching, so I've given them a little backstop there and a little backstop there. So if they're trying to hit pin 4, for example, over this water and that mound, they can come into here, drop it back down, and it's naturally going to take them a little bit that way. So they might end up with a putt that's sort of downhill left to right, but if they're trying to hit a 3-wood into that green, because it's so thin, it's no point. It's just going to end up going off into here. So you just got to help and hinder, haven't you? So if they really try and cut across to hit the pin 4 on that shortest point, it's never going to work. They're going to kick massively off that, and it's going to push them into that bunker. So that works in that respect. And to hit this pin, I mean, if they can land it in this soft area and let it trickle on, that's the ideal shot there. I think that is pins 1 and 2, or 1 and 3. 1 and 2. 3's, I like to make 3 the most accessible, really. So I'm giving them a lot more room to hit a little run-up shot into that area there. 1 and 4 are the ones I try and make the hardest, and then 2's obviously got something going on there as well, because you're going to have this tricky putt. You're probably going to end up roughly about here, and you're going to have to bring that down and round. On 1 you've got the same, but it's a left to right going the other way. So that's obviously what I'm trying to say about having the longer shot in. You've got to offer a bigger green and contours that are going to at least give them a shot for the eagle. But on this one, we're looking at a much smaller green because it's a much shorter club in. Right, I think I'll emphasise that point. So I'm pretty happy with the size of the green, pin positions and movement at the moment. So let's just give it a test. I'll play the first hole or the first shot from the basically from the tee, and then I'll do it from the fairway afterwards because it just saves me time. So I'm on a high south, which is wind in my face. I just want to see where it puts me. Play hole 7. So that's going to be the easier approach with the wind in your face. But let's try that one first. Let's get this shot going. So about here. So that'll be roughly where I'm going to take the next few shots from. I've still got to do a bit of polishing on some of this fairway. There's a few little bits that need to be ironed out a tad. I've done the tee boxes and I've done the greens, so the rest will just be little bits. So if I take it from about here, pin 1, play from here. This will be the area where I'll do most of the testing from in different winds, about 138 in. So let's just take that back, See what that does. Oh, that was way too short. So that's going to get us a kick off there, that's fine. We've then got a chip which is makeable, but it's not an easy makeable, so that's fine. And then we're going to have that for par, so that's fine. Good putt. It's tricky enough. That's it. I don't want hole 8. Go away. So pin 1 again, but with a northerly this time. Play from here. 165. So a north. Oh, I didn't change it to northerly, did I? Don't know. Let's try a different club this time. Still got that nasty little shank. Different position. Double breaker this time. Let's try it straight. It's got to go uphill a tiny bit. Let it come back. So that's a little bit of an easy putt with it, dead straight. Didn't have to do anything. So in that scenario, from that position on the green, where was we? 7. And we was looking at a putt about here. So yeah, I can afford to make this one a bit higher now. We'll try that putt again afterwards. So if I just make this little ridge a little bit higher, so there'll be a little bit more turn to the right at the start of the putt than there was left, so you shouldn't be able to play from here. You shouldn't be able to just hit it straight, you're going to have to work it out a little bit more, hopefully. Yeah, so you're going to have to come up a little bit higher onto the initial turn. And then way too high. That was a good read. Let's rewind that. Let's just try it straight. Hopefully it's going to miss left. Yes, there's a little bit more thought that has to go into that putt if you do end up in that area, so I'm happy with that. Let's try pin 2. Well, it's just a case of doing the same thing again. I try each pin in sort of the middle of the fairway, where I think we're going to land roughly in each wind direction. So we'll do it on south. I don't think we did it on north, did we? Pin 1. We'll just try it with a north quick. play from here. And it's the same process again, just keep going back over each pin. So we've got a tailwind this time, so makes it a little bit trickier. Oh, God, I can't hit a straight shot. That's what frustrates me. I don't mind being able to put it all over the place, but sometimes I want to hit a straight shot so I can see where I need to be, but I'm terrible. So that's really difficult if you go left, which I don't mind. I don't want to make that an easy chip. You've really got to trickle that down there because everything's running away from you towards the water. That's fine. There's just one more spot I want to try that pin from. So now I can sort of see the danger areas. Now I can just try and, because there are any wedges going in, I can really focus on just the areas where they're going to be landing now. So if I do sort of land one back off this hill and it comes back to about here, what part have I got on pin 1? Should be a right to left. And it's reasonably turning at the end, so happy with that. That's fine. I think pin 1 will work. So now, like I said, I'll just go through each pin now. So I hope that has given you some sort of idea. It's using the raise tool really and just bringing it up a couple of inches at a time here and there. Having a strategy for your approach shot, what club it is you're bringing it in from. Then basically, as I said, just gives you the size of the green you want to put down and how much movement it's got in it. And that's about it really. There's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot better designers that can do greens better than me, I find. But I don't like to go too crazy. I'm not trying to do TGC Tours greens. Again, it depends who you're aiming for, what sort of player you're looking to play for at the end result. So because I don't do TGC Tours sort of courses, I don't have to worry too much about it. If it was a TGC Tours and you were trying to say platinum or something, you could afford to make your greens a lot harder because they need to be. But I'm sort of looking at casual to good players. I'm looking at societies just to have fun with. I'm looking at people that just want to have a round and have a bit of trickiness on certain pins, but other pins they can find that are a lot easier, like the if you play pins 2 or 3, you can have a lot easier round, a bit more fun. 1 and 4 I want to try and make a bit more challenging for the better players. It's just how you approach it in that respect. So thanks for watching everybody. It was a bit of a quicker one today. As I said, I'm going to try and do one every Friday, but I was so busy this Friday I didn't really get it out, the first one. So we'll be doing another one Friday coming up. Not sure on what yet, but we'll work something out and we'll get something out to you. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and appreciate it. Cheers. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.